Hi. So we're going to be doing our last filmed math assignment. And we're going to kind of do a little bit of the last assignment. We had one problem left over. And then we're going to practice. We're going to do the let's practice page where we find perimeter and area on 4 different figures. So, whoo, that's going to be a doozy. It's not going to be that hard because once you have all the numbers, you can easily find both the perimeter and the area. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and I'm going to fold my paper into 4 squares. And I'm going to leave myself enough room because we're going to be doing 5 problems. And so I'm going to go ahead and write my name over here. And we're going to be doing lesson 13.3. The rest of our math lessons we're going to do during class. So we're on page 221, 223, and we have about 50 more pages of math left. And so we'll be doing that in class together, and I'll be doing it with the people that are in class. And then I will be doing it with people at home, and like the A group will do it in class, and then the B group will do the math lesson on Zoom. Okay, so we'll still be doing math together, but you won't have to watch a video. You'll just be watching me live doing it. All right, so we're going to be doing pages, I think it's pages 222 to 223. And we also had an assignment. We had number 9 that we didn't do on the last page, and it's pretty easy. So let's do it. So we were finding the area, and we have a box that looks like this. It looks like 2 rectangles sort of staggered, kind of like a letter S, a lazy S. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in up here, and I'm going to fold my paper so that I don't accidentally do this off camera like a ding dong. Actually, I might draw it over here because I have a little bit of room over here. So I'm going to do it over here. And this part of the rectangle comes down here. And then I have a little bit coming off the side. And then I have a rectangle down here. And I'm just looking at my book while I draw it. And then I have this is shorter. So this comes up here. And it looks like they meet at the exact same length, right? So this goes here and this goes here. Boop. So that looks pretty good. Now it's telling us that we're finding the area, and we know that this is 3. We know that this is 10. We know that this is 2. We know that this is 4. And the reason why we know these things is because it just is telling us, right? If you look in your math book, it's telling you that if we know this is 4, we also know this is 4 because they're the same length. We don't know this top length, so that I don't know. And also, we know that if this is 5, this is the same length, so this is 5. So I think we have everything else under control. Now, if we're going to find the area of these 2 sections, one way to do it would be to do this and chop it and do 3. I don't know if that's going to be faster or easier. I think it'd probably be more difficult. So I'm just going to go like this and chop it into 2. Boop, boop, boop. And we're going to call this one A and this one B. Okay. So we know that we have 4 as the width and we have 10 as the length. So A equals 10, well, equals length times width. A equals 10 times 4. A equals 40. And these are centimeters. And we know since we're finding area that we're going to label it with centimeters squared. Now we don't know how long this is. So let's see if we can figure it out using what we know. If we know that this is 10, and we know that this is 3, right? So if this is 3 and this is 7, this section is 3 because I know that because the 3's up here. And this little middle section is 7. And then this is 2. So if we went ahead and said this is going to be 7, the 3, it cuts down like this, right? So we know that that's 3. So this is going to be 7 plus 2, which is 9 for that side. And so we know that if area is length times width, we know that the length of B is 9, and we know that the width is 5. Then we know that the area is going to be 45 centimeters squared. And if we have If we have 40 plus 45, we have 85 centimeters squared. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and we're moving on to the next page, and they are a doozy. So all of these are asking us to do perimeter and area. So the first one we're going to do, number 1, looks like an L. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw it first, because I always like to draw them. And the reason I like to draw them is because it just makes it a lot easier. Now I'm going to leave room over here to do the work because I'm going to have to find the perimeter and the area. So I'm going to need a little bit of room to show my work, especially for the perimeter, because remember, we're going to be adding all the sides like a maniac. Side plus side plus side plus side plus side plus side plus side. Okay, sorry, this rectangle is not exactly parallel. So I know by looking at this that this right here is 3, because the book is telling me that. This is 7. I also know that there's centimeters. So I'll just throw the centimeters on there. I know that this is 8. And I know that this is 3. So let's work on the perimeter first, because I think that's a little harder. And also because it's listed first in the book. So I am missing the information that I don't know is this, and I don't know this. And I probably need to know those for the perimeter. Oops, all my colored pencils just went flying. So if I go ahead and if I know that this whole length is 8 and this amount is 3, then this has to be 5, because 5 plus 3 is going to give me that total of 8. I know if this whole length is 7 and this amount of it is 3, then this leftover amount is going to be 4, because I know that 3 plus 4 gives me that total of 7. Okay, so now to find the perimeter, I'm going to start here at 7. I'm going to add 3 and chunk it. I'm going to add 4 plus 5 and chunk it. And I'm going to add 8 plus 3 and chunk it. So I'm just adding each one of the sides. There's 6 sides together. And instead of making a big, huge stack of numbers, I like to do it in groups of 2 to make it faster. And also, I get to work on my math facts when I do that. So this is 10 plus 9 plus 11. So Now I can chunk 9 and 11, and I know that if I have 9 plus 11, I'm going to get 20. So perimeter equals 10 plus 20. Perimeter equals 30 centimeters. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Now I have to figure out the area, so I'm going to cut this shape into 2 rectangles. And boy, in order to do that, I think what I want to do is just cut it right here. So we're going to call this A, and we're going to call this B. So we know that the area of A is length times width. And so the length is 4 and the width is 3. So it's 12 centimeters squared. Now for B, the length is 8 and the width is 3. That's the one we need to know. Length times width. B equals 8 times 3. B equals 24 centimeters squared. So if we add 24 plus 12, we get 36. So the total area is 36 centimeters squared. Okay, not too bad. All right, let's do the next one. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give myself, I have 3 more problems to do. So I'm going to, I think we'll have plenty of room because we can do one here, and then the big one, the last one, we'll put right here at the bottom. So this is going to be number 2. And I'm going to draw it over here. I have a figure that looks like this. It's like a T, and with a big square on the bottom, and it's a little bit off kilter. The square is a little bit off to the side. So again, your drawing doesn't have to be perfect. I think you're making a big mistake though if you don't draw it. I really think that drawing it helps us to see what's going on. And so I think when you're just trying to look at your book and do it in your head, it makes it more difficult. And if someone has written in your book, the answers are probably all wrong. I always assume the answers are wrong, because if somebody's not smart enough, if somebody can't write it on paper and doesn't want to take the time, it's probably somebody that's not very good at math. So just saying. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold my paper so I don't accidentally put my camera, put it off camera. This is 10 meters. This is 3. These look like they're the same length in the picture, so I'm assuming this is 3 as well. And then this is 4. This is 1. This is 5. And I think that's all the information we have. So we've got to know this and this in order to find the perimeter, right? We guessed, we added this little tidbit in because we just saw that it was across from 3. So sometimes you'll just look at a figure and you'll go, oh, that's the same length, right? And that makes it easy. So if I know that this is 3, I know that this is 3 and this is 5, right? And this is probably going to be the same length because this is 3. This is probably going to have to be 5 too to match because it's a square. That was easy. Now, if I know that this is 4 and this is 1, then I can find this missing measurement by subtracting it from 10. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and 10 minus 5 is 5. And also this looks like a square, so that makes sense that this would be 5, 5, 5. And then remember, we have to cut it into two shapes to find the area. So let's do that now. And I'm just going to do it at the logical part, which is right there. A, B. All right, let's find the perimeter first. Woohoo! So we're going to take P equals side plus side plus side. Let's start with 10. 10 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3. How is that for a doozy? So again, I'm just adding all the chunks. This is 13 plus 6 plus 10 plus 7. And this is going to be 13 plus 6 is 19. And 10 plus 7 is 17. And when I add those together, I'm going to get, let's see, I'm going to get 7 plus 9 in the ones place is 16. Regroup. 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So I get 36 meters is my perimeter. Okay, I just added all the sides together. Now we've got to find the area. So the area of A is going to be length times width. The length is 10, the width is 3. Remember, it's area, so it has to be square. And then we're going to find B. B is 5 times 5. So we're going to add this guy and this guy together to get the total. And that is going to equal 55 meters squared. All right, so that wasn't too tough. But wait, we have 2 more left. I'm going to be a little bit sneaky and I'm going to draw the number 3 right here, but I'm going to solve it down here. So I'm going to kind of go like this. So I have enough room. So I'm going to go like this. Yeah. And I'm going to solve it right there. Okay. So I'm going to draw it up here, solve it down here. And then we'll put 4 right over here. Okay. This is kind of weird. Unorthodox paper folding. Okay. Here comes number 3. This is what it looks like. It looks like a big, huge rectangle with a little chunk, a little chomp out of it, like it's been attacked by a square shark. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the big, huge rectangle. I'm going to leave, I'm careful not to draw it too big because I want to leave enough room to do the work. So I'm going to draw it up here, and the chomp is consistent. The chomp is like, doesn't look like a square, but these have the same length. Okay, thank heavens for drawing triangles. So let's write in what we know. We know that this is 3 because it's telling us, and they are the same length. So if I know this is 3, this is 3 too. And I just know that by looking at it. This is 14. They are the exact same length. So I know that this is 14, right? I can tell by looking, like when you look at the picture, this guy's 14, this guy's 14, right? And you can see that these end at the same point And these are all right angles, so that's telling you that too. So the bottom is telling me that this is 4. The bottom is telling me that this one's a little shorter, it's 3. And then the bottom is telling me that this is 4. So if I want to get the total on the bottom, which is what I need to find the perimeter, I'm going to add this plus this plus this. So that's 8 plus 3, so I get 11. So I know that 4 plus 3 plus 4 is 11. So that was pretty easy. Now I have all of my measurements, so I can find the perimeter. Perimeter equals side plus side plus side plus side. I'm going to start with 11, and then I will go to 14, and then I will add 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 3 and 14. Chunk, 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 and chunk, chunk. So perimeter equals 11 plus 14 is going to equal 25, right? 4 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 1 is 2, 25. Plus 7, plus 7, plus 17, because 3 plus 14 is 17. So I'm probably going to want to chunk it here and here. I know that 5 plus 7 is 12, and I regroup and I get 32. And I know that 7 plus 7 is 14, and I regroup. And I know that 4 plus 2 is 6, and 2 plus 3 is 5, so I get 56. And this is feet. I didn't write that anywhere. I should have written it up here somewhere, feet. What I don't really, when I'm also drawing a problem, I only write what I need to know. Sometimes when you look at figures that have lots of information, they have lots of lines and they all say feet, 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 feet. I just like to see the numbers. That's all I care about is the numbers. Maybe write this once so you know how to label it. Okay, so perimeter's 56 feet. Now we're going to find the area. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult because I've got 3, right? There's no way to really slice this to make it into 2. So I'm going to go across this way. I'm going to call this A. I'm going to call this B. And I'm going to call this Big Mama C. So if I'm finding A, it's 3 times 4. Oops, or 4 times 3. So A is going to equal 12. If I'm finding B, B is 3 times 3. So this I need, because remember I'm totaling them all together. Now I have to find big chunker, and that's going to be a little bit difficult because we said that the whole length of the side was 14. So I'm going to get rid of this 3. So I'm going to say 14 minus 3 is going to tell me this length, right, that I need to know. Because it's not 14. The whole thing is 14. So 14 minus, if that kind of helps you to see it a little bit better, the whole thing is 14. So I'm going to subtract 3 and I'm going to get 11. So I'm going to multiply 11 by 11. Does it look like a square? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I guess it does. So C equals length times width. C equals 11 times 11. And that means that C equals, what's 11 times 11? I'm trying to remember from passing you guys off on your times tables. 121. Woo, forgot that. 121 feet squared. So I have to add all three of these together to get the area of the whole shebang, right? Shebingo. So I'm going to add 121 plus 12 plus 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4. So I get 142 feet squared is my total. Okay. Woo! Whoosh. Okay, we only have one more left. We got this. Maybe. Look at it's shaped like a cross. So that means we're probably going to also have 3 to find the area. We're going to have 3 shapes, right? Or we could go chop, chop, either way. All right, so I'm going to draw the cross. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to help you to solve the problem. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfectly to scale. You know, it does help if you use a drawing triangle and you make it neat, because you want to be able to make it readable and neat, but it doesn't have to be perfect. This looks more even, like a red cross on the side of an ambulance. Okay. Now, my drawing is not great, but I can tell by looking at this picture, this is 6. This whole thing, this is 7. This is 7. This is 5 right here. And I'm assuming if that's 5, this is 5. And I'm assuming that if this is 7, since it's the same length, that this is 7 as well. This whole thing is 21. They're telling us that this is 21. So if I have to find out, I have to find a lot of missing numbers here. So I need to find this, 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 and that, right? I know. What I know is this side, this side, this side, no. This side, oh, I need that too. This side, this side, this side, this side. Okay, so that's good. I got everything. Woo! And I also know that this whole thing down here, from this end of the cross to this end of the cross, is 16. And these are yards. Okay, so that's all I know. If I know that this one across here is 7 and they line up at the same place, I know that one's 7, right? Because it's a cross. If I know that this is 16 and I know that this is 5 and I know that this is 6 and it looks like it's the same length. If this is 6, I think this is 6 too. So if I know that this is 5 wide and this is 6 wide and the whole thing is 16, this is 11, and 11 minus 16, that means this is going to be 5. Now if I know this is 5, I know this is 5 because they're the same length. Now I just need these two monkeys. Let's see. If I know this is 21 and this is 7 and this is 7, 21 divided by 3 is 7. So this guy's got to be 7. And it's this one across has to match because they're the same length. So that wasn't too bad. Now, perimeter, baby. Here we go. I'm going to start right here at 6 at the bottom, and I'm going to write P equals 6 plus, and I'm just going to go around. 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7. Okay, and I'm going to double check to make sure I didn't miss anything. Here, 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 here. Gotcha. Okay, now let's do some chunking. Let's chunky like a monkey. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so I know that perimeter equals 13 plus 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 7 is 13 plus 12 plus 12. Now I know that 12 times 4 equals 48. That was an awesome math trick because I just had a whole bunch of 12s and I could multiply them instead of having to stack them and add them. I love it when that kind of stuff happens. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say perimeter equals 48 plus 26. And so perimeter equals 8 plus 6 is 14, regroup. 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So it equals 74 yards. And it's not squared because that's the perimeter. I'm going to go like this so we know that we're in the, there we go. Okay. Whew. Are you ready to find the area? This is going to be easy, I think. Let's do it this way. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. So this is going to be A, this is going to be B, and this is going to be C. Okay. So I know that 6 times 7 . What did we say these were? Yards? Yeah, we did. Okay, so that's A. Let's find B. B, we have 7. And then we have 16 was the total length, right? So we're going to do B equals length times width. B equals 16 times 7 and 16 times 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. So we get 112. And that makes sense because it's a lot bigger, right, than the smaller one. And then this one is going to be the same because it's 7 times 6. So we know that C equals 42 yards squared as well. Boop, boop. So now we just have to add those three that I circled together. We have 112 plus 42 plus 42. If we were being sneaky, we'd multiply 42 by 2 and we'd get 84. But 2, 4, 6. 4 plus 4 is 8, 9. We get 196 yards squared as our area. That's the total area. Okay. Wow. That was an extravaganza. I feel like I could rule the universe after being able to do that. Doesn't it make you feel good when you're able to do something that's really challenging and you're able to just knock it out of the park? It's like hitting a math home run. All right. We just hit a math home run. Woo! Both my dogs are staring at me like, why are you whooping? All right. So again, little pep talk about 5th grade. If you haven't been working on math all during the year, you're going to want to work on it during the summer. And you have a lot of resources to do that. You have every single video that I've recorded is on my YouTube channel. And you also have a math workbook. You have some blank pages that we didn't do that you can practice on. You also can really practice your times tables. When I taught 5th grade, one of the things I noticed in math was the kids that struggled the most, the students that struggled the most, didn't have a good handle on their times table. So you're going to be doing big, hairy division problems. You're also going to be doing huge amounts of fractions. And you're also going to be needing to know your times tables with both of those things. So if you are struggling with your times tables, practice them over the summer. If you knocked it out of the park and you worked as hard as you could work all during the school year, you get the summer off. Don't worry about it. If you sat at your house and watched TV or you watched YouTube and instead of doing any of your work and you didn't turn anything into me, you've got some work to do this summer. You're not going to turn it into me, but you have work to do for yourself, right? Not for me, because learning isn't about your teacher. Learning is about you and what you take away from school. So if you take away from school nothing from this year, that's not my fault. That's on you. And you might want to take away some knowledge, because that's what school is gaining knowledge. And you might want to gain some knowledge over the summer so that you don't feel like a nitwit when you get to 5th grade and you have no idea what's going on. And teacher Lisa is just always looking at you with this look on her face like, oh, honey. She likes to call kids honey. She's going to be going, oh, honey, all year long if you don't work on math during the summer. If you really worked hard and you feel like you gave it your best shot, you can relax all during the summer, just like I do. I work really hard during the school year. And then when summer comes, I just do artwork. I do my other job all summer long. And I don't really worry about school at all, because I work really hard during the year. And you should be able to feel confident if you worked really hard and you did all of your work this year. You should feel really confident that next year you're going to do great. You're going to have a really good year. But if you're somebody that you didn't do what you were supposed to do, then it's on you. It's your responsibility, because school is all about you and learning for you. And if you weren't doing your best, then maybe you can use the summer to catch up. And you are more than welcome to go on YouTube and watch any of the videos for our math book. Okay. And do any of the problems. If you can remember, I don't label them by the topic, but you can kind of remember that we start with place value. And so the first chunk is place value, and then you can kind of continue on from there and hit fractions. And you can watch any of those videos. I'm not taking them down. I'm just leaving them on my page. So if you didn't do any of the assignments or you didn't write them out, summer would be a good time to catch up, because really your winter was summer because you weren't doing your work, right? So while the rest of us were, I was doing my work. I always do my work. All right. So I just really appreciate those of you that worked really hard. I know who you are. You know who you are. And I feel like if you work really hard and you give it your best shot, you're going to be successful in school, because the person that keeps working and powering through, it doesn't require you to be a super smart person to gain knowledge. You just have to be persistent, and you have to keep trying without giving up. And if you keep trying and you keep working at it, you totally have got 5th grade math, and you'll do really well in Seth's class in 6th grade math too. All right, so thank you for joining me, and I will see you later. Live. Live on Zoom and live in person with a mask on. All right, see you.